Good evening and welcome to Sunset News, where we bring you the latest news, economics, community news and sport, as well as weather. I'm Irene Marie van der Walt and I will be joining you for this evening. In our first news story for the evening, the Popular Democratic Movement leader Mokendwi Mvunane has paid a visit to Hosea Kutako International Airport. So he has questioned why there are still bottlenecks in terms of passenger movement at the airport in light of efforts to ease congestion. The Namibia Airports Company CEO Baisi Uirap gave Mvunane a synopsis of what has led to the legal impasse regarding the ground handling firm Menzies' refusal to cease operating at the airport. The Namibia Airports Company airports manager also shows that the current Menzies and Paragon warehouses, saying that the British aviation ground handling firm has left parcels exposed to the elements. Let's have a look.
We're also seeing a bottleneck. If there is a leader in this country that frequents this airport more than me, I doubt who's that, because I'm nearly every week outside the country for a meeting somewhere here. So I always come here, and sometimes I see the congestion. We have spent money, so much money, but I see the improvement of the infrastructure, especially the arrival area. It's really good. But then there's congestion. If 3 flights, 4 flights are here, then there's hordes of queues.
That by end of April, they must vacate, as per the new agreement that gives 1 month's notice. And they said they will not vacate.
So they refuse to comply with the legal provision of the contract?
Yeah, they refuse to comply with the legal provision of the contract. And then we remanded them a couple of times, which they refused. We asked them to give us commitments, and then when they refused, we said, okay, there is a case.
Why are they refusing?
They said they want to go to the High Court, simply, to challenge.
The contract says the expiry date is April.
Yeah.
And they say, regardless of the expiry date, they want to go to litigation.
They want to go to litigation.
Well, they can always go to litigation and comply with the contract.
Well, that has been our thinking.
Okay.
So we then sought commitment from them to then go out at the end of June, so that the full contract can run out. Even that, they ignored us. And then sometime in May, we then went to the High Court to declare that the relationship between Menzies and NAC expires at the end of June. The High Court, through Judge Sivea, on the 29th of June, declared that the contract has expired. Menzies must leave the airport, and they have no right to be at the airport. That was on the 29th.
As explained, this is how the other so-called international has been handling the goods. You can see they are just left in the sun like that, and all that.
And they have no representation here.
At this moment, it's just security. Yes. And the warehouse now on the left, that's basically the Menzies warehouse. Let's see what's actually talking about.
2 American citizens, Marcus Thomas and Kevin Townsend, have been found guilty of the murder on 25-year-old Andre Heckmeyer in January 2011. This is after a 9-year trial in the High Court in Windhoek before Judge Christy Liebenberg. Christine Creer reports from the High Court.
Regter Christy Liebenberg het vanoggend in die Hoorhof in Windhoek die 2 Amerikaners, Kevin Townsend en Marcus Thomas, skuldig bevind van die moord op 25-jarige Andre Heckmeyer. Heckmeyer is in Januarie 2011 in Windhoek in sy suster se voertuig doodgeskiet. Dit is reeds 12 jaar nadat die moord gepleeg is en 9 jaar sedert die verhoor begin het. Marcus Thomas is skuldig bevind op al 6 klagte waarop hy tereggestaan het, en dit sluit in moord, diefstal, dwarsboming van die gereg, die onwettige invoer van geweerlope en die onwettige besit van 'n vuurwapen en ammunisie. Kevin Townsend is ook skuldig bevind op die klag van moord, diefstal en 2 klagte van die onwettige besit van 'n vuurwapen en ammunisie, maar hy is egter kwytgeskeld van die klag van dwarsboming van die gereg. Heckmeyer se ouers het ook vanoggend die hofverrigtinge bygewoon en het na die uitspraak gesê dat hulle bly is dat geregtigheid uiteindelik geskied en nou wag hulle om te sien wat die vonnisse sal wees.
In our third news story for today, the Deputy Minister of Trade, Werner Sinimbo, speaks at a training workshop and border dialogues for National Ozone and customs officers. Ilani Smith reports.
That here for the National Ozone Unit and Customs doing workshop and border dialogue for countries of the SADC region Anglophone Network. As the name of the event suggests, we are here for a dialogue between Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe to discuss and share ideas on how we can move forward when it comes to controlling the trade of ozone-depleting substances. Ladies and gentlemen, I am reliably informed that an event of this nature was successfully held in September 2019 in Katima, Molilo, between Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. It is on the basis of this success that we convene this joint border dialogue and hope for the same success outcome, or even better.
Women in Media, in collaboration with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, is hosting a 2-day workshop on human rights and digital security for female journalists in Windhoek. The workshop, that is organised in the run-up to the 2024 national elections, looks at the number of issues, including gendered threats, barriers typically faced by women journalists within and outside their work, and how to identify these. It also includes self-protection, as well as looking at elections, internet shutdowns, and strategies for women journalists. Women in Media was founded in 2021 by award-winning sports reporter Limba Mupatami and political journalist Jemima Beekes. In our first story for today, Namib High School in Swakopmund celebrates its 110th anniversary, making it one of the oldest schools in the Eronga region. One of the school's longest-standing employees, Ms. Elke Lang, explains more.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Lang. I think at the moment I'm the oldest teacher here at the school. I never knew it would be possible. And I'm part of the 110th anniversary committee. Today we have got the festive evening, the big evening with honorable guests and all the sponsors and as principals of the high schools and parents who fulfilled their contributions to the school, teachers, everybody who's really involved with the school. They are here tonight. Tonight we will have a review of the school's history. Mrs. Courtney Clark is delivering that. We are having speeches of Mrs. September, of course. We've got the Pastor Mackenzie, who is going to lead us into the evening. You're going to listen to the present school song and the old school song. We've got a slideshow showing what is going on. We've got some well wishes of our highest dignitaries here in Swakopmund involved with education, and then of course the vote of thanks. Tomorrow we've got our big culture day. At the culture day we depict all the different cultures in Namibia with dances, with showcases, with live museums, and so that the people know what is about the cultures, and we invite all the tourists and the public to come. We've got the language day on Thursday with the 3 languages that we have, with the games in place for our learners. On Friday we've got Matric versus the rest. There's another public evening tomorrow on Thursday evening from the IPA group, the IPA Showcase. That's the Integrated Performing Arts. Friday we've got Matrix versus the rest, a sports day, and in the evening the closure with the braai, Bring and Braai. After tonight, the evening will end with the arts exhibition, and those who are interested also to go on a school tour.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that sponsorship and how it was utilized?
They sponsored something like $50,000 worth of paint. With that, we've colored in all the interior of the school, repainted it. It looks stunning, it looks new. They advised us with the other paints that they didn't sponsor, but with what types of paints we could use, how we could repair the holes and where the boards are disintegrating. They were really our advisors and were there every time when we needed some assistance.
Next up, Yolanda Nell chats to Chef Sanet Prinsloo about the Chef of the Year competition.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Now on to our story of the day, the announcement of the new ECB board. The Deputy Mines and Energy Minister Cornelia Shilunga has just announced the new board for the Electricity Control Board. The new members will serve from the 8th of September until the 7th of August 2027. Ogeto Greg reports.
Of good governance, which is to prevent self-interest getting out of hand. And I trust in your ability as I look at you, the professionalism that I'm just foreseeing in all of you. It's written in your faces actually. And I trust that you will be able to perform your roles and what is expected of you through this appointment. I therefore would like to announce that the new board members of the Electricity Control Board of Namibia are as follows. Ms. Evangelina Nailenge, a board member and a chairperson. Prof. Chama Chivikwa, board member and deputy chairperson. Mr. Mburumba Apollos, Ms. Vincia Klute, Ms. Helen Foslow, all board members. And I wish to congratulate all of you on your appointment, and we are looking forward to that contribution as you oversee the elaboration and control of the Namibian electricity supply industry in the interest of all stakeholders with regard to price, quality, and reliability. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Residents of Windhoek in our community news segment, residents of Windhoek gathered this morning at the Urban and Rural Development Ministry to demand access to water and electricity, as well as the removal of Red Force debt collectors, including better living conditions in the city. The famous Namibian musician Jericho Gavanap also joined the protesters. Katutura residents say that their pleas have been ignored by the Windhoek City Council for more than 6 months. Apart from access to water and electricity, residents insist that the debt collectors from Red Force must no longer be deployed by the city. Ogeto Greg reports.
Basically, we are here with the petition that we gave to the minister. We first went to the mayor's office. He did not want to respond to us. We came working with all the eldest people from the Katutura Central on behalf of our people. We came to come see the minister here himself, because we gave him a petition 6 months ago. It was never replied upon. We got the opportunity to speak to the mayor also, to the minister himself, which is called to give him 72 hours, so that in return we need an answer, and we gave him some of our pointers that we want him to respond upon, so that we can also know exactly where we stand with our people, with our minister.
Well, what are the issues?
The issues are basically just water and electricity. The Red Force, that the municipality as debt collectors has taken people's houses. We also spoke on their behalf of the people, elder people that cannot afford to pay that outstanding amounts that we owe to the municipality. So we're just trying to take care of the situations, man, because these are old people. This debt needs to be, where do the people go from here if they have to take these houses? We grow up in Katutura, we grow up in Windhoek. We don't have people outside. We don't have other houses. If we get evicted from where we are right now, where we are going. So we're trying to build up a relationship, not only just a relationship, but to have a solution to the problem of what we can do together as in hand to solve the situation that we are in as human beings. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy that I'm part of this movement. I'm just happy that we came to a conclusion in peace as in one, and we came to an understanding. We just hope that the agreement will be benefiting both parties at the end of the day, which will be in the next 72 hours from now.
In our economic news, a rock lobster vessel goes missing. More on this after the ad break.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Now, in economic news, a rock lobster vessel has been reported missing. The Works and Transport Ministry, through the Directorate of Maritime Affairs, received information this morning that a rock lobster vessel named Newlands is reported missing at sea. The ministry reports that the vessel left the port of Lüderitz on Sunday, the 3rd of September, at around 13:30, that is 1:30 p.m. The vessel has 9 crew members on board, and the ministry has already requested a Namport tug vessel and the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources aeroplane to search for the vessel. All other relevant stakeholders have been notified. We will have a look at our financial indicators after the ad break. And in our financial indicators, one British pound exchanges for 24 Namibian dollars, €1 for 20 Namibian dollars and 61 cents, $1 US for $19.21 21 cents in Namibian dollars, 1 Chinese yuan for 2 Namibian dollars and 63 cents. In our commodities, the price of gold is now at $1,918 US and 22 cents per ounce, platinum at $912 US and 62 cents per ounce, copper at $8,427 US and 50 cents per ounce. And that concludes our economic indicators.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
In international news, African leaders have called for new global taxes to fund climate change action. So African leaders earlier today proposed new global taxes and reforms for international institutions to help fund climate change action in a declaration that will form the basis of their negotiating position at November's COP28 summit. The Nairobi Declaration capped the 3-day Africa Climate Summit in Kenya, which was dominated by discussions of how to mobilize financing to adapt to increasingly extreme weather, conserve natural resources, and develop renewable energy. Organizers emphasized market-based solutions such as carbon credits in the lead up to the summit, and hundreds of millions of dollars of such investments were announced in Nairobi. Let's have a look.
As a continent, we have developed our common position, which encapsulates our ambition for socio-economic transformation and our climate action agenda. This position is anchored on the potential that Africa holds to decarbonize the global economy and set the stage for green industrialization throughout the world. Who just joined us last evening, the President of Chad, Idriss. We demand a fair playing ground for our countries to access the investment needed to unlock the potential and translate it into opportunities. We further demand a just multilateral development finance architecture to liberate our economies from odious debt and onerous barriers to necessary financial resources.
The Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal has greeted the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken earlier today and his delegation in Kiev. During bilateral talks, the top U.S. officials said the United States will continue to support Ukraine militarily and economically. Blinken is likely to announce a new package of wartime assistance worth more than $1 billion, a senior State Department official told reporters on this trip.
I'm here in large part at the behest of President Biden to reaffirm our commitment to stand with you, to help ensure that you succeed militarily in dealing with the aggression, but also to stand with you to make sure that your efforts to build a strong economy and a strong democracy succeed, because all of those things, a military that's capable of deterring and defending against further aggression, but also a strong democracy and a strong economy, are the difference between a Ukraine that survives, which it will, and a Ukraine that thrives, which it must and can. And we will be your partners in that effort.
Let's have a look at our sports news brought to you by Sportrap.
Well, good day, viewers. On today's Sunset News brought to you by Sportsrap, the Namibian Sports Commission today announced that it has acquired over 1,045,000 from the Ministry of Sports in order to reward outstanding windfalls owed to athletes and coaches as per a country's reward policy. While Freddie Muya was at the press conference, and this is what he had to say.
We also need to look at some of the championship that we undertake. Are they sanctioned by the Sport Commission? Because we are the only organ in this country that must sanction any international event. So if that event is not sanctioned by us, then you believe me, there's no way you can actually be rewarded. Because we have to make a submission, and our submission must be based on the event that we have sanctioned. It's for that reason that we would like to congratulate Paralympic movement for a good job done. Karate Federation, we call it Namibian Karate Federation, for the achievement of one of your elite athletes, who is now counted second in Africa. Athletics Namibia, I believe so. Athletics Namibia? Yes. Yes. For the veteran Hilaria Johannes and the others, Christine Boma, you name them, for the achievement that they actually have achieved. And also in absentia Special Olympics, I think they've done a great job during this year, together with swimming. Let me thank you very much.
Well, the Build It Under-13 netball and soccer tournament was launched earlier today in Windhoek at the Build It office in Northern Industry. Well, as we all know, 8 schools actually will be taking part in this prestigious competition, with AI Steenkamp as the host school. Well, the tournament is scheduled to take place on the 30th of September at AI Steenkamp. So please do make sure you do note that down somewhere and make sure that you are there on this specific day. Well, prizes range from vouchers from Build It amounting to 15,000 also for the schools that will be taking part in the competition as Build It continues to give back to the community. Well, that's all that we have for you from the sports desk. It is goodbye.
Now diving into the highlights of our top stories of the evening. In our first highlight, Judge Christy Liebenberg found Marcus Thomas and Kevin Townsend guilty this morning on the murder of Andre Heckmeyer in January 2011. The Americans were also found guilty on various other charges, including theft and the obstruction of justice. Moving on now to residents of Windhoek gathering this morning at the Urban and Rural Development Ministry to demand access to water and electricity. The removal of dead force collectors and better living conditions in the capital was also on their priority list. Lastly, the Namibia Sports Commission today announced that it has acquired 145 million from the Ministry of Sport to reward outstanding windfalls owed to athletes and coaches as per the country's rewards policy. With that, we conclude our evening news for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in for Sunset News every evening from Monday to Friday at 7:30. So until tomorrow, from me, Irene Marie van der Walt, and the entire Sunset News team, it is good evening.